you'd have to really be around her every day to get her flavor because she just really is competitive, but lighthearted in the same breath. When she's, I don't know, it's hard to explain her, but she's very talented, obviously. Bailey Butler had to guard her for one-on-ones last year. Natalie kept hitting that pull-up jump shot over the top of her, and Bailey was on defense, I swear, for 25 minutes every time she had to guard her because Natalie's so proficient with that pull-up, But just a good kid, obviously, very competitive, got some ability, and is showing it the last couple of games in particular.
When we talked to her during the week, she talked about the great thing of this team is that anybody could have their night. It just happens to be hers like tonight. But it seemed like when you get into that fourth quarter, they're kind of chipping away. You need somebody to kind of go get that bucket when you need it. Is that kind of the role she has, and what does it mean for when you have that somebody?
I know you guys can see that as well as I can. I mean, she doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that the kids wants to get her hands on the ball and is aggressive, just trying to do everything she can to help us to win. And just it's innate, something you really can't teach. And of course, she has the ability to put in the basket, so that really helps.
When you get to this point of the year, obviously, you want to see somebody come back on your bench. Callie's been back for the past couple of games. How much does it help to have maybe not somebody that's starting, but somebody that can kind of give you some big minutes off the bench?
We've got big minutes off the bench the whole year. I mean, when you look at Callie, when you look at Natalie, when you look at Jenna, when you look at Marty, those guys that come off the bench and give us big minutes all year long. At the end of the day, you've got to be healthy at the end of the year. And if you are, you have a chance. And if you aren't, you're limping into a tournament scenario. So we've been fortunate that we've been able to rotate some of our kids, give them some breaks, and hopefully that'll pay off down the road.
When you come off the Cleveland State game, you talk about how you want to move on from it, but after these last two games, how do you feel about how they kind of didn't let maybe anything linger from that game, came out and did what they needed to do?
Honestly, wasn't even disappointed after the Cleveland game because we gave it all. I mean, it wasn't like we dropped our guard. Cleveland played really well and beat us. I mean, it wasn't that we just, we weren't able to answer, but this is really a special crew. They compete in every practice, they compete in every game, and they do it together. Somebody said play smart, play hard, play smart, and play together. They do those three things from the first second of the game to the last second. They do it all the time and in practice. So they're a fun group to coach.
How would you just kind of evaluate where you feel like the team is at right now? What are things you're liking from them? What are some things you
Well, yeah, and that's the biggest thing we're trying to do now is how can we expand? You look at a lot of teams that come in at the beginning of the year and they're trying to find their identity. And their level of growth is really big. We come in and we kind of had an idea what our identity was look like, so our growth is a little bit smaller. So we have to find out where we want to. That little area right there has really got to be solid growth for us, and we're at times we question that, and we're trying to figure that out, and we're trying to work through that, trying to give ourselves some different wrinkles. But at the end of the day, we need a little bit of growth, and we need to not just stay in the middle of the tracks because if you do, you'll get run over. So growth is really important for us right now, and we're doing everything we can to try to find different ways to make us a little bit better.